What's up, y'all? Sorry, I'm out here walking Ash. She's losing her mind. She's just so happy to be out the house. You know, without Kim around, we've been really focusing on content creation and just doing what we got to do. Just been making hidden gem videos every day. Sorry if the camera's rocking. I'm going to get it stabilized here in a second. Puppy's dragging my arm. Ash is acting a little rambunctious, if you will. But I'm here to answer your questions once you guys have them. Gonna get ready for our schedule here shortly. Once I finished all the hidden gem videos, once I finish all the analysis on all the teams, we will be talking about each team and every conference and start the daily podcast. You guys know what the deal is. If you were around last football season, we're gonna do the same thing this year. I will be working every single day, 7 days a week on college football, giving you guys the analysis and the picks. So it should be good times. Over here, sweetie. Let them do their thing. Sorry about that. Ash gets distracted by people on scooters and skateboards and bicycles and stuff. And we got little dudes on skateboards, on scooters. Hello.
Hello.
Little dudes doing their thing. But anyways, so wanted to talk to you guys about some of the hidden gems and whatnot. You know, I do the videos and then I post them, and I don't really care if anybody watches them. It's more about me being right and then me sharing that information with you guys. So it's one of those things. I feel pretty good about where I'm at with all the team breakdowns. I'm currently on Georgia State right now, looking at their defense. We're going alphabetical, so I've already done all the offenses, and now we're on the defenses. I feel pretty good about my assessment on these teams, man. We're going to see what happens. We're going to see what they, you know, how they get it done on a Saturday. But I think with my ratings and how I do things, I will be right more often than wrong. And we're going to win a ton of money, and we're going to make it happen. So I'm pretty excited about that. Pointing out hidden gems is a different skill set than capping games. Obviously, I'm known for picking winners against the spread. And it's always scary the first couple of weeks of the season, especially week one, because everybody wants you to have all the answers from the offseason in week one, and you don't. I'd say I get it all right. Usually I dominate in weeks 2, 3, and 4, and then Vegas starts adjusting by week, by week 5 or 6, and it's a grind the rest of the year. And then bowl games, once the transfer portal hits and players start opting out, that's kind of where we dominated last year as well in the bowl games, because you give me a whole month to study a matchup, and I know all the players on the bench. Like, I know everybody in the 2 deep, so I know the guy that's actually getting in the game now, and Vegas doesn't. And that's kind of what separates us from everybody else all season long. So pretty excited about it. Noah says, have you seen the new Colorado first day of camp content? Looks like last year. Definitely haven't watched it, but I can tell you that the team isn't anywhere closer to what people are thinking. Like, they didn't fix the issues, right? So the Colorado concerns and issues are they don't have collegiate coordinators. And it's important that you understand, when you're a coordinator, let's say a defensive coordinator, the biggest skill set you can have, or the biggest thing you can bring to the table, is muscle memory from being a defensive coordinator at other schools for a long period of time. If you come from the NFL, you don't even know the schedule. You don't know what exactly you're doing. You don't even know how to implement your game plan, because you're used to doing it at the NFL level and not at the collegiate level. So that's number one. Number two, you don't have any historical knowledge against the other coordinators. When you start looking at offense and defensive coordinators, the biggest strength that they have is like knowing the play calls, knowing what you're up against. And they don't necessarily have that. They definitely don't have it at Colorado. Pat Shurmur is not the answer, right? So, like, let's say you have a quarterback who's pretty good. Shedeur Sanders is pretty damn good. And you know his strengths. and you know his weaknesses. And instead of addressing his weaknesses, what you do is you hire somebody who's going to ensure we just take advantage of his strengths. And that is a piss poor way about going and developing a player. So the player doesn't get any better. The player just plays within the parameters of their ability. And that's terrible. So if you find out a quarterback, for example, like Shador, struggles with choice routes, and they'll blame the wide receiver room for not knowing the choice routes. But let's say you find great wide receivers, but you find a quarterback who struggles with choice routes and processing plays and things, and you say, all right, well, then we're just not going to do that stuff, and we're just going to hire somebody who has to make one decision and throw. That's cool and all, but that doesn't get you any better. On the flip side, building your offensive line with a bunch of random dudes who aren't very good, that's bad. I love the defensive additions. I do, to some extent. I love some of them. I think the secondary is starting two players that probably aren't two of the better players in the secondary. But when you look at that team, if you sit down and you really look at that team and compare it to the Big 12 teams, it's not it, bro. It's not it. I don't think they compare. Iowa State would literally beat them dudes like bad, like physically beat them dudes. Iowa State's got better players at every position group. It's crazy. Like, seriously. So I don't know, like, if anybody's watched tape or studied who they're playing against. Teams like teams like Kansas, Oklahoma State, but it's going to be ugly, man. And it's going to be frustrating. And I think the Colorado fans are going to find another scapegoat, right? So, like, they blamed everything on Sean Lewis last year. They blamed everything on the offensive line. And they're going to do the same thing again. They're going to blame it on something other than the lack of development and the lack of growth and building. It's just the reality of the situation. When you have a former walk-on running back and you're too deep, bro. You're not it. Not in the Big 12. Not in the Big 12. That's not it. You got to find better players. And they didn't. That's the reality of the situation. When you start seeing kids like, and I'm cool with Colton Hood and his brother, like, they're good players. But when you start seeing those guys and they're in your starting lineup or they're better than the players you have, like, come here, mamas. Get some water. Ash, cold water. Come here. Ash, water. Come here. Ash, she's worried about these kids in front of us. Oh, well. When you start seeing, like, the Hood brothers and they're in your top number of players, that's scary, because Hood, the corner, was maybe the 5th best corner at Auburn. And now he's one of your best. And he's shutting down people, and everybody's getting excited about it. Like, that type of stuff, I wish people paid attention, you know? I wish they paid attention. It is what it is, man. It's the reality. I'm just going to be right, and they're all going to be fans. Like, that's all it is, right? I will be right with my assessment, and they'll just be fans. And they'll all fade away, just like last year. I was right about a number of teams. New Mexico State, Texas State. I was right about Colorado. I was right about TCU. I was right about, obviously, Michigan. I was right about Georgia. I was right about a lot of teams. But it's going to be a sad day for a lot of those Colorado fans who are unrealistic about their perception of their team, because they're not that good. They're not. It's not that they're not that good. Their ceiling is 6 wins. So it is what it is. Multiple sacks. Shador throwing picks. Yeah, they'll tell you it's because the defense is better. She just wants to be pet. Hey, Mama. She thinks you guys have treats. Come on, sweetie. Ash won't. They're just trying to relax, mamas. Yep. Her name is Ash. I'm calling her Mamas because she's a mama bear. Yep, she just wants to hide in the shade. She wants to play with you guys. Pardon me, y'all. Ash made friends. Come on, mamas.
Does she bite?
No. She don't bite at all.
She thought she was a pit. She was a pit.
Yep, she doesn't bite. Good mamas. Hey, she doesn't.
Is she a pit bull?
She's a pit bull.
Yeah.
Yep. Come on, sweetie. You guys have a good day. Sorry about that. Ash is out here. I say she don't bite. She's snapping at them kids. She's snapping at their hands. She's trying to bite their hands. So I said she don't bite, and then she don't like them kids petting her. They're trying to pet her in the face. I ain't correcting them. Lose a hand, bro. Lose a hand. Yo, Rico. It's hard for me to read the chat. Shout out to Divine Obsidian, though. I think that's who that is, because of the glare. So I got to wait till I get to the shade. They just gonna support. Yeah, sure. Was you right when you said it didn't matter that black man died? There's a lot of people who pass away, and they might be of all different races. I think you might be under the impression that certain people's lives are more valuable than others, or that certain people matter more than others, and I don't agree at all. So just because you're an athlete and you die, it really doesn't register with me. Looking at an athlete who was a substandard human being before his death really doesn't register with me, and trying to ignore it is crazy. So you can come in here and talk about a death and get all upset about it, but I don't think you went to the funeral. I don't think you went to any memorial services. I don't think you lost any sleep over the death. So when people die, right, they can come and attack me, but I made a video about that man when he was alive. And I told you his GPA was 1.6 and he got arrested multiple times and kicked out of 3 different universities. I'm just reporting facts, bro. You don't have to like it. You can be mad. You can shoot the messenger. You can do whatever you want. But criminals die every day. And somebody's in the church saying, oh, he was a good boy. He was a good kid. And I don't get down with that. I'm not in a better place. He didn't light up the room. I don't get down with none of that. So you guys can prescribe to that thought process all you want. It doesn't really matter to me. Please, if you feel that way, miss me with that shit, bro. Like, don't come to my live. There's no reason to show up every single day if you don't agree with my thought process or my way of thinking in that regard. Like, do something better with your life. Do something better with your time. I'm not going to change my mind because you're out here pressed about some bullshit. Try defending somebody else. I just don't care. So the fact that somebody died and I didn't change my narrative on them doesn't really matter, right? Like, somebody can die tomorrow. They don't magically become great. Like, Whitney Houston died and everybody started talking about what a great person she was. And I'm like, yo, wasn't that a drug addict? You know, a drug addict with a good voice. Mama, you want to go get some water? She just rested right here in the shade. She said, enough's enough. My baby girl's right here just chilling in the shade. She's done walking. Thoughts on Baylor this year? Love Baylor's offense. I think they returned all their wide receivers. Their running back room's loaded. If DeQuan Finn can figure it out, if DeQuan Finn can lead that team, that'll be great. But I love Baylor's offense. It looks like they built their offensive line in the transfer portal with good players, though. Not with shitty ones, with good ones. I really like Baylor. I think they'll be better than people think this year. I think that they recruited certain players I don't agree with. I think their coaching staff is on the way out. I think they might get fired, but the team, talent-wise, they're pretty loaded. Your brother exposed you. You're not qualified to say who's subpar human being. Yeah, my brother. That's your source? That's wild, bro. So your source is somebody who was kicked out of the Army for sexual misconduct with a minor or with a girl? That's your source? A guy who got kicked out of the Army other than honorable discharge? Somebody I have blocked in real life? That's your source? You better rethink your strap, bro. My brother exposed me. Imagine that. You have like a loser brother and he exposes the person who's successful. Like, that dude had a .66 GPA in high school, man. That dude didn't play high school. He didn't play high school football his senior year. He wasn't academically eligible. He also didn't live in the house. He got thrown out at 16 years old, moved in with his girlfriend. And then he joined the Army and got kicked out of the Army. That dude is a walking liability. He is just a con artist who goes online and convinces you guys he knows about the stock market. Dude never taken a college course in his life. Should not be a financial advisor in any way. Should not be talking. Dude's not even got money, man. The dude's broke as a joke. We're talking about a dude who bought his first house after 40 years old because he can't get a VA loan, because he can't do anything with the military. He can't claim military service. So he'll tell you he served in the military, made it to E5. On the flip side, you're talking to somebody like me. I lettered in 3 sports in high school. 3 sports. That means I'm a tri-sport athlete. I'm a college graduate, magna cum laude. I retired from the military as an E8. Like, the differences between me and that dude are astronomical. That dude is a fake person pretending to be successful, a fake person who tried to get popular and famous because somebody died, and he pretended like he cares. I'm going to tell you what he's known for in my family. We know that dude for going to funerals and giving speeches at funerals so he can get a standing ovation or an applause. That's what he likes to do. He likes to go to the funerals, stand at the podium, and pretend like he knows people. That dude is the worst. That guy is blocked in real life. And that's your source. Dude's blocked in real life. You could never bring that dude around me. He'll talk about me being divorced. Homie's divorced. Homie's divorced. He's got a daughter, lives 30 minutes down the road, my mother raises. Yeah, let him know. He's got a daughter, lives 30 minutes down the street. My mother raises that daughter. She had to graduate from high school early. He's got a son he raised the last 2 years. And then his son graduated from high school and promptly moved the hell out. Moved all the way to Colorado. Get the hell away from this dude. Let's think. He's got, his oldest son and his oldest daughter, their birthdays are like 1 week apart because he had a kid out of wedlock. That's right, he cheated on his wife and had a kid with somebody else. Like, you guys don't know dirt, bro. Y'all don't know real shit. Y'all listen to a dude who's a real loser. Like a bona fide loser. Blocked in real life, bro. That's your source. Here, brother, exposed you. Exposed me for what? For being fucking great? Astronomically great? Because I abide by the laws? Think about it, bro. I abide by laws. I don't do anything wrong in life. You guys are mad. I'm out walking my dog, bro. Unity for L. Unity for life. You have the wrong source, bro. Get a life. Can you play Super General by Kevin James at 324, please? I don't know who that is. Kevin James, isn't that a comedian? Defensive rankings out this week. Divine Obsidian, I wish, bro. I don't think I'm going to get them done just because I'm doing the Hidden Gems videos. You know what? I'm going to focus on the rankings after 4 Hidden Gem videos every day. I'll go ahead in the rankings. I'm going to get the rankings done by Monday. I do have 2 days of UFC I need to do. Thoughts on James Madison after Jordan McLeod transferring to Texas State? That really doesn't matter. James Madison is a very good team. I think James Madison improved immensely for the transfer portal. Losing Jordan McLeod isn't that big of a deal. If Jordan McLeod was very good, like you guys anticipate he is or think he is, he would have been able to see the field at South Florida, Arizona, and the coaching staff would have took him to Indiana. They didn't. He's not as good as you think he is. But I hope he plays great at Texas State. JMU's good. Looking forward to it. There you go. JMU's a good team. And they dominated in the transfer portal, and they got a great head coach. And Chesney, I like JMU a lot. JMU will not drop off. They won't be undefeated or anything, but they're not dropping off like that. It's way too hot to be out here with my puppy. I got to get her back to the car. And she wants to just rest and lay down. We're going to walk straight to the water, and then I got a blister on my foot. I'm wearing sandals out here. Man, your brother exposed you. What you guys talking about? I'm talking about JMU. Talking about defense and my dog. But, my brother exposed me. I'll never hold back when talking about that loser. Because when the whole world decided to pretend like they were outraged at me, that dude literally saw it as an opportunity to try to get famous and try to get monetized. And you guys all bought into it. You guys all believed it. It's a disgusting tactic. It's clout chasing to the fullest, but it's gross that in that moment, the dude doesn't give a shit about Kyrie Jackson. He doesn't care about anybody dying. And he just makes up and pretends like he can relate to you guys. And Rico's a monster. Yeah, Rico's this, that. That dude was kicked out of the Army for other than honorable reasons. And he can't even talk about it. He can't get a loan, can't claim it, can't do anything. That dude is a terrible human being. Listen, you get an Article 15. Fine. Everybody gets an Article 15. Chaptered out of the Army? Other than honorable discharge? Nah. It's a terrible person. And don't you ever forget it. Don't you ever forget it. Complete POS. Yep. Syracuse will be pretty good this year with Kyle McCord transferring there. Yeah, I don't think Kyle McCord was the issue, though, right? I don't think quarterback play was the issue last year at Syracuse. I think Syracuse struggled with team defense or defensive speed. I think Syracuse won't be that much better than they were last year. I think people misunderstand what impacts your win-loss total. And I don't see Syracuse making a marked jump forward. Their defense was just mid. Yeah, I mean, that's one way to describe it. I think the issue there is you lack team speed at the edge and linebackers, so the defense gets kind of exploited by dual threat quarterbacks. So when you start looking at Syracuse, they can't stop Thomas Castellano. They can't stop Haynes King. I think Haynes King went for over 150 yards on them. I know Castellanos did, and you know that's what happens when you're playing against a team that doesn't have speed. So getting Kyle McCord doesn't change any of that. And you got to find team speed. You got to find speed on defense. And I'm excited for Devin Grant, and what he does. They want to move him to corner, though, because they think that that's more like the coaching staff is good, right? They have the right intent. They took one of the top safeties in America in Devin Grant, and they convinced them, hey, man, become a corner because that's going to be your payday in the NFL. That's how you get better drafts. You'd be a first-round draft pick instead of a fourth-round draft pick. But he's not that good of a corner. Great safety, not a good corner. Got to go get you some water, mamas? You ready to go get some water? Come on. Nope. This way. Underneath. Good girl. Oh, you don't care? Thank you. Let me get it. Hold on. Come on, water. And then we'll go bye-bye. Water, and then Daddy got to take off his sandals. Excuse me, y'all. My sandals give me a blister, so I got to take it off. And this girl wants water, so bear with me. It's hot as hell out here, and I don't want to walk barefoot, but we got to make do with what we got. I can't read chat right now. We're out in the sun. The glare doesn't let me read the screen. I apologize. But we got to get Ash some water and let her walk in the grass. Hold on, she's drinking water like a human, by the way. We gotta get the hell out of the sun. Where am I from? I mean, I live in Georgia right now, but I'm from California. Born and raised Southern California. I lived all this country. I was in the military for over 20 years, so if you're in the Army, they move you everywhere. So where I'm from, I mean, right now I claim Georgia. I've lived here 10 years now. What was Ohio State's biggest problem last year? Ohio State didn't have a problem last year. Their biggest problem was their opposition, right? It's not that Ohio State needed to fix anything. They were as good as they were going to be. It just so happens that Michigan was better. Sometimes your team is performing at the best of their capability. There's no improvement to be made. Quarterback play was solid. Wide receivers were good. Running back was good. Offensive line, defense, coaching was good. Everything. Ohio State was good. Our team was better. There's no problem. Same thing happens with Penn State. There's really no glaring issue to address. And that's what some fans just have a hard time understanding that. It's like, that's your ceiling. That's who you are. Ohio State is a very good team, a top 5 team, a top 10 team, whatever you want to call it. No issues. They can pretend there was issues and they got to address them. And that's just to reinvigorate boosters and donors and NILs and everybody saying, oh man, we really need to address this. We need to fix this. But how much did your running back room get better? Like getting Judkins, how much of an upgrade is he from what you already had? He's not that big of an upgrade. I mean, he's a good player, but he was almost losing his starting job at times while at Ole Miss? How much of an upgrade did you get in the transfer portal when you got Caleb Downs? He's a good player. I don't think it's that big of an upgrade. You have good players. You already have good players. So the issue is just development in the offseason, putting it all together. But there is really no glaring issue with Ohio State. Nope. I think what really helps them is the seniority coming back for another season. That really helps them. That's a huge plus. Seniority coming back for another season. A number of guys passing on the draft to be back. That's the stuff you need to happen if you want to win. Most teams that are winning national titles have that type of continuity in decision making. So hopefully they're on their way. So that's how that goes, really. Hello. Come on, Mama. Come on. Come on. Thank you. You ready to get in the car, sweetie? Gave me a like. I appreciate it, man. Likes matter. Come here. Got to get her in the car. I don't want her walking in the street. I'm barefoot right now, too. The street's pretty hot. So I walk barefoot just so I know how hot is the street for her. So I took my sandals off just to see if it's too hot for her. Kind of why you should eat with your hands. If you eat with your hands, you'll never burn your mouth. Go ahead, Mama. If you think about it, eat with your hands. You won't burn your mouth. Up. Go. Good girl. She did not want to get in. She's like, it's hot in there, Dad. If you eat with your hands, you won't burn your mouth. You'll make sure it's not too hot to grab. If you think about it. Sorry, y'all. Car's pretty hot. Gotta give her some AC. All right, y'all.